Hello and greetings. This is Jorge Misael Santos Martinez speaking, and in this opportunity, I'm going to be working with the final assignment of English conversation with the topic of the issues of homelessness and its impact on society. This is a brief presentation of the written essay that I made that will be uploaded to the platform. Also, this essay is dedicated to my facilitator, Teofilo Alvarez. With all of this said, we can begin with the introduction of this essay. In this essay, I will address one of the most complex and difficult problems to discuss and address the situation of homelessness, or better known as the issue with homelessness. Despite the great economic, medical, and social advances, this problem continues to persist throughout the world. Throughout this brief essay, I will analyze some of the main factors contributing to this situation, explore possible solutions, and examine the effects it has on those who suffer from it. With this in mind, we can begin our reflection in this essay. Now, before all of that, we have to address the main objective of this essay. So, the main objectives of this essay is to, well, like I said, address one of the most serious problems in our current society, homelessness. Despite our, like said before, the social and economic progress of the modern era, more and more people are finding themselves involved in this difficult situation. So it is a very sad situation. So, homelessness is a persistent social issue that affects millions of individuals worldwide. It is multifaceted. It is a multifaceted problem with profound consequences for individuals, communities, and economies. The root cause of homelessness are complex and often interconnected, making it difficult to address without comprehensive and coordinated efforts. So it is a quite difficult issue to tackle. Pardon. So what are the causes of homelessness? There's many factors. There are economic factors, mental illness and substance abuse, lack of effort, affordable houses, domestic violence, system failure. There are many of them. So let's begin with the economic factors. One of the primary drives of homelessness is the economic instability, rising housing costs, job loss, and insufficient wages. It makes difficult for many individuals to afford a house or to even have families, and is more evident in big cities or in cities in general because the living cost is quite high. Mental illness and substance abuse. Mental illness is and many disorders and substance abuse are significant contributors of homelessness. Individuals struggling with conditions such as Alzheimer's, depression, and PTSD may find themselves in this issue. Also, um, drug abuse and substance abuse are quite common for homeless people. And without the access of proper healthcare, they might find themselves in these very difficult circumstances. Like I told before, like affordable housing are quite expensive nowadays. It's very much difficult to even afford a small room in cities or in small towns. And imagine the difficulties with uh, the lack of jobs, the lack of affordable housing is quite an astounding problem. So, system failure. Well, the failure of foster care systems, the criminal justice system, and social services can lead to homelessness. Nowadays, these inefficiencies in these systems that were created for caring to these people are quite struggling with, like I told before, inefficiency and lack of funding and many other issues that can, well, leave a lot of people without this protection and putting them in the circumstances that I told before. Now, let's talk about the challenges that these individuals suffer. Homeless individuals encounter numbers of obstacles that makes their life difficult. To escape from it, these include lack of medical care, no insurance or access to treatment, employment barriers, not having a fixed address or documents makes it difficult for these people to find jobs, discrimination and stigma, marginalization makes reintegration difficult. That is more seen with people that have a past with substance abuse, depression, or mental illness. So that is quite difficult for them to reintegrate to society, and it keeps with this vicious cycle. Exposure to violence, like we all know, not having a proper home or a proper place to rest or live in can lead you to vulnerable to many criminal exploitation and criminal activities. Now, let's talk about a little bit about the impact in health and economy. With regards to health, exposure to extreme weathers, malnutrition, and worsening mental illness can be difficult for these people, and they are suggested this to this type of issues constantly. And the economic cost can be quite also difficult because it's a high cost for health, safety, and temporary shelters, as well as a lower work productivity. So many of these homeless people, because they don't have a place to be in or to live in, they tend to have a very costly life because they don't have any way to be secure, to have a let's say a place where they can be found easily, or an address or anything, because nowadays it's required for you to work to have an address and a place that they can contact you, and many of the homeless people don't have even the basic needs uh, that they require to live. So that is a very much difficult situation. Now, let's talk about a couple of solutions that I think are the most viable or perhaps can help a little bit more in the current day. So, one of the solutions can be a more affordable housing. That is the most, in my opinion, important because investment in housing and support programs can be a quite substantial improvement to the life of homeless people. Better mental health and addiction care. Well, many of the homeless people, like I told before, uh, have the issues with drugs and mental illness. Access to services to prevent homelessness can be quite substantial, and more for these people that have these problems with mental health and addiction. Job training, we can have programs that help find jobs and reintegrate these homeless people, many of whom are retired military personnel. In more specifically in the U.S., the vast majority of homeless people are mostly male, and for the most part can be former U.S. military members that lack the perhaps um, security, the economic security that they used to have when they were deployed in fighting wars. Strengthening our social security. It is difficult because of the inefficiencies that we have nowadays with social security, but it's necessary for those people. Subsiding and assistance and well, pardon, subsiding and assisting to prevent homelessness. So this can be helpful. And finally, the most important of all is community support. NGOs and shelter that provides direct assistance to these people. It is imperative to these people that the community support them, to help them out and give a helping hand, because homelessness can be a very difficult issue. Now, I'm going to conclude with this. After researching and reflecting on this essay, I realized that despite the progress our society has made, we still face serious organizational problems, especially in the distribution of wealth. Many people have been abandoned, whether due to old age, health problems, or psychological difficulties that prevents them from supporting themselves. However, there are those who are working to change this reality, creating um, programs and policies that provide support for and new opportunities for those in need. Although the solution will not be easy, it is our moral and social duty to reduce this problem and build a more just future for all. This was my brief participation in the final assignment. This is a topic that come close to my heart because I have a lot of friends that have struggled with this issue. So in that regard, I think it is important for all of us to improve the circumstances of these people who don't have anything or that have lost everything. So, with all of this said, thank you for listening and cheers.